you know, despite the fact that it's a big, giant action movie that gives you the opportunity to do a lot of this crazy stuff, it's really about the characters. There's a lot of humor, there's a lot of emotion, and they're very human.
Speaking of characters, you know, we see what we see on screen, but I know you and Tom spend a lot of time together just kind of off the cuff, just kind of developing these characters. Do you ever create a backstory to the character that we may not be privy to in order to give it a little more context?
Anything I see in terms of backstory, you see it on screen.
Really?
You'll see it, you'll hear about it. People are always asking me, what about Ilsa, what about Benji? And I know they have their ideas about their characters. I let them go with it. I'm just looking at what meets the eye.
Sure. Now, I mean, there's so much for the audience to take in when it comes to just what they're seeing on screen. I mean, if you were to describe just the overall experience, the movie-going experience for that person, I mean, how would you describe it?
It's hard for me to describe because I shot it and Tom directed it. I'll tell you, the experience of watching an audience watching it, it's the most rewarding movie I've ever worked on. People have been really receptive to it, and it's the kind of stuff you dream about as a filmmaker.
Speaking of, you know, filmmakers having dreams, I mean, how does Tom Cruise fit into your ideal actor, your ideal partner when it comes to creating such a, you know, it's an impactful story?
The answer is in your question. He's ideal. You know, you have somebody who comes with all this collected experience from all these great filmmakers. He's not just there to teach, he's there to learn. He wants to know how you want to do it, how you want to play with the material, and at the same time he pushes you to do things that you didn't think you could possibly do. If you told me 5 years ago that I was making this movie, I wouldn't have believed it.
Anything's possible. Was there anything that you wanted to create, a stunt that he wasn't able to achieve, or that you guys said, you know what, this isn't going to work?
No, the only stunts that we don't even bother with are ones where you can't see that it's him doing it. And not because he's a daredevil and he insists on doing it, but because that's how we can make a more immersive sequence and put you right there with the character.
All right, last question. When it comes to just discipline, obviously you guys are very disciplined gentlemen, but when it comes to the importance of discipline, how much do you attribute that to the success when it comes to the daily life on set and even off set?
It's everything. You know, between Tom's work ethic, the amount of hours that he puts in on set and the way he leads the cast and the crew, and also these movies are constantly changing around you. A lot of times you're making it up as you go along, and you come to work some days and don't really know what it is that's going to make the scene right, and you have to confront it. You can't back away from it, and that's how we look at it every day.
Sounds special. Well, thank you again for making the film. We look forward to more of your work in the future.
Thanks.
Take care.